Hello and welcome back to Planescape Torment Enhanced Edition with me, Bardon, the nameless one, Dakon, and Anna, and still no Mort. So we're gonna head out and follow some of the clues that we've been given. Again, I have to say, like the atmosphere in the game is amazing. It's so like that really does sound like an auction there. Let's pop in here though. Let's see what we can see. Okay, so this is a printing shop. So we want to talk to you. It's the messenger we don't need to talk to. Okay, so this is Scofflaw Pen. You see a thin, stooped man hunched over a desk, scribbling on a piece of paper. His hair is thinning and drab, drawn back into a ponytail, and thin spectacles adorn his hooked nose. His age could be anywhere from his early 20s to his late 40s. He doesn't look up as he speaks to you. What do you want? Make it quick. What do you do here? He looks sharply at you, ceasing this scritching of his pen. Are you entirely dim? It's a printing shop. I print things here. Look around you, I print. What do you print? Books, pamphlets, handbills, words, letters, whatever. He amends. Though I don't do racy prints, and I don't fulfill any perversions you might want, nor do I care to ask. I had a few questions. Do they have to do with work? Yes, I'm missing a skull. He snorts. That's how it looks from where I'm standing too. I'm serious, a companion of mine has been stolen. Then you might want to ask around for Lothar, Master of the Bones. So this is the second person who's said that to us. Word has it, he's got quite a nice little library of skulls. I don't know where to find him though, and even if I did, I wouldn't tell. He knows more about magic than most Burks ever dreamt, and I won't be the one to cross him. He turns back to his papers. Now get out. Okay, this doesn't seem very friendly, so we're gonna leave. But maybe it's a situation where he's having problems, and maybe we could help him with said problems in the future, and he won't be such a dick. Maybe. So here, you're Anazi. Okay, let's go talk to Anazi. You see a sickly Jitseri woman. She's hunched and bent, and her constant coughing is obviously a source of pain to her. She holds a handkerchief that is practically soaking with blood, tissue and phlegm to her face. She spies you and hisses. Greetings. She stares at you and speaks a few mumbled words to Dakon. Dakon glances at you and says, she cannot understand your speech. She says she is dying. What's she dying of? Her name is Anazi. She says she used to work in a meat curing house here until a half month ago, when the illness became too much for her to bear. She was abandoned, evicted from her home, and left for dead. Speech pains her, and her illness has crippled much of her mind. She says there is nothing she can give you of value. And know that she will not recover. I can put her out of her misery, that is all. As a desert of the people, it is my responsibility to provide an alternative. Then be merciful, Dakon. I don't really like putting her to death, but I guess we're gonna do it. Dakon draws his blade and waits for the woman to prepare herself. She touches the unbroken circle of Zertamon he wears for a moment, and her face is stoic. His blade is a blur, and when he has completed the stroke, she lies bleeding on the hard stone of Sigil streets. Well struck, Dakon. Let's go.
I'm gone.
Okay, so that was an interesting little... Oh, we're back with these guys. Okay, so we're still looking for... Who are you? Kina, or... It looks like Kina. Yeah. This woman has a yellow cast to her skin and severe features. Tattoos cover her body, and she wears a long blade at her side. Her eyes are like two small black pearls. As you approach her, they follow Dakon's movements. Before you reach her, Dakon breaks in. I would have you hear me. What is it, Dakon? It is my will that we not speak to this woman. Why not? She's a Zert. Oh, is this the same person? Very well, then we will not. You have my gratitude. Think nothing of it.
My lungs feel
Who
like
are you
a
then?
chimney.
What? You see a middle-aged man wearing dusty clothes. He does not appear to be in the best of health. His skin is pale yellow, and you see an occasional pustulate along his arms. Greetings. He turns and glances at you from behind hollow eyes. His eyes narrow in suspicion as he continues to glance around. What do you want? His voice is raspy. I have some questions. He turns his attention to you. Why are you bothering me for? I look the part of a tout. You seem to be a knowledgeable individual that I can learn from. He sighs. What you be wanting to know? Who are you? He gives you a slight bow. Name's Kurr. In my day, I was a pretty good warrior. He pauses and sighs. Well, them days is over, but I still know a trick or two. Can you teach me the warrior's ways? Well, why not? You sure you want to give up your current profession? No, let me think about it. Farewell. So he's like warrior trainer, I guess. I have some questions. What can you tell me about this ward? Oh, are you feeling alright? Let's start with that. Not in a few years a debt won't cure. He coughs and looks up. Air's been getting worse in the ward of late. By my reckon, it should level out once the great foundry settles, or a wind blows through the spire. What is it with the air here? It's mostly caused of all the portals. He has a coughing fit and then returns his attention to you. What do you mean? Lots of doors to the lower planes here, letting in the bad air and fumes and such from who knows what layer of the abyss. That's why this here's the lower ward. He laughs. A jaunt through this area is like breathing in a meal. Salt, smoke, pipeweed. It's all yellow blankets of smoke and stinging sulphurous gas that this ward spits out. He gives you a gap-toothed smile. Pretty, eh? Yes. You mentioned the foundry. Center of the ward, pretty much. Looks for the stacks. Them godsmen make a bunch of things out of iron. Nothing fancy, but they work. Add to the bad air too. Godsmen? The believers. Have their kip in the great foundry. Banging and singing and chanting their barmy silliness. All being powers in the next 10 upon 10 and a bunch of other 10 lifetimes. He rolls his eyes, then spits a brown mass from his mouth. All they do is suffer and slave and work. I slave twice as hard and no way am I going to be any sort of power. You understand me, Burke? He laughs hollowly. You said something about the winds earlier. At times winds blow in from Sigil's spire, drive the smog out. He glances up and coughs. For a while. I had some other questions. Is there anything interesting to see around here? He concentrates for a moment. Well, there's the tower. It seems to come up in the chant a lot. Tell me about the tower. Ha! He laughs, but it soon breaks into coughing. One of the more damnable mysteries of this ward. Fear tell it simply dumped itself in Sigil one day, many years ago. No idea where it came from, how it got there, or how to get the damn thing. How to get in the damn thing. Takes up space and looks like a site. All damn acid burns, weapon scars. Looks like it's been a few hundred wars, it does. Anything else come to mind? He thinks for a moment and shrugs. Can't think of anything interesting. I have some other questions for you. I'm looking for someone named Lothar of the Master of the Bones. Or the Master of the Bones. He looks nervous and glances about. Yeah, I've heard of him. You don't mess him, let me tell you. His kip is in a place what's called Bones of the Night. Or some such nonsense. Where can I find this place? He frowns. Now, that's dangerous wigwag. If I were to say anything, which I'm not, I would say to keep an eye out for a gutted building here in the ward. Mayhap you would find something there, eh? He glares at you, but you never heard such from me, eh? Thank you, I have some other questions. See, I actually don't have any other questions, so thank you, I must be going, farewell. But, so, Corridor there was pretty helpful for us. Now, I want to make a way around this way. So we've got, we want to go talk to you. You see a florid, boisterous man. He's shouting, carrying on like there's a war that's about to come through. Like he's got something lodged in his intestines. Like, well, like he's too excited about something to talk in a normal tone of voice. His rapid-fire delivery makes it difficult to understand. You, sir, you there? You look like you could use something. I'm not quite sure what it is yet. But give me time, and I'll have it figured out on the spot. You need rooms. I've got rooms. You need supplies. I've got supplies. What are you selling? Okay. Now, gaudy ring for 1. We definitely won't sell that. Let's sell our bronze ring though. Okay. Let's sell this bronze ring. Now, what else do we have that could be worth selling? Gold ring for 150. Well, let's see if it does anything. I don't think it does. So let's sell that and the bracelet and the knot charm. Because it's just not things we're going to be using right now. So then he has rooms as well. So I guess we could rest. We definitely don't want to steal. He can identify stuff though. So let's do that. No, not Anna. Let's identify here. So, gaudy ring. Yeah, let's identify the gaudy ring. It's going to cost us 100. I think he said, yeah. Let's see that. Identify. Okay, it's a ring of the Traveler's special +1 to armor class. Okay, so that's decent. These rings are quite common across the plains, simple to make and in great demand. Mages usually create these items as a way to raise quick money. This particular ring has a minor enchantment on it that protects the wearer from harm. Okay, nice. Now, what can we identify here? Nothing apparently. Okay, and then on you, we got to identify the pipe. Yeah, let's do that. Ring. Hang on. So, ring of the Traveler, special +1. Ah, here it is down here. Abyssal pipe invokes Cloud Kill. This is a small wooden pipe carved to resemble the head of a demon. When used, this pipe billows forth great gouts of deadly fumes from the plane of the abyss. Okay, so it's basically like this ward then. Spews out crap. Now, let's pop in here. See what patrons we can talk to. Okay, so Who have we got in here? We got Drixel. Okay. You see a tall man in plate armor. The armor is of unusual construction with spikes flaring from the shoulders, elbows and forearms. He nods at your approach. Good day, citizen. Greetings. How may I help you, citizen? He gives you a friendly look. I have some questions. Let's see. Who are you? He gives you a slight bow. I am Harmonium. I am Harmonium guard Drixel, citizen. I keep the peace here at the market. Tell me about the Harmonium. He snaps to attention. Our belief is simple. We are the light. We are the way. We are the order. We are the truth. He steals his expression. There wasn't even a question of me joining them. You see, some Burks talked about doing battle with chaos to restore order and harmony, but they haven't got the stones to do anything about it. The Harmonium, we take action. We keep order on Sigil's streets and on the plains. He nods at you matter of factly. Go on. He looks even bolder as he speaks. And we don't keep order with words. We fight, and fight hard to maintain and enforce order. Cross traders, Knights of the Post, Indepts, Anarchists, Zautecs, Tanari, Fiends, all that had best beware the Harmonium's shadow. Chaos can only exist in an era of tolerance. What can you tell me of the other factions? He looks rather bored and strokes his shoulders. Nothing. They are not a part of the truth that is the Harmonium. I have not studied them. I have other questions. He smiles. Certainly, citizen. I'm looking for someone named Lothar or the Master of the Bones. He gives you a dumbfounded look. Starts to say something, stops, and then starts again. Well, no one knows for certain where Lothar is, citizen. He hasn't broken any laws that we know of. So, we at the Harmonium leave him be. I suggest you do the same. I still need to find him. He stares at you for some time before answering. Very well, you can find the entrance to his keep, an erect building here in the ward. He begins to look through you rather than at you. Thank you, I have some other questions. He smiles. Certainly, citizen. I need to buy some weapons. He gestures at the market. Plenty of merchants here, citizen. You can find what you need with them. I had some other questions. I need to buy some magic items. Same thing. Okay, thank you. Farewell.
All right.
Okay, so who we got? We got... Is it Alec? We have to go all the way around to talk to him. You see an older man with long white hair and weathered yellow skin. He stands tall despite his obvious age. He smiles and gives you a slight bow. Greetings. And to you as well, Cutter. How may I serve you? He raises his eyebrows as he awaits your answer. I have some questions. He frowns. Forgive me, Cutter, but I sell items of a magical nature, not information. If it is information you need, then you must acquire it elsewhere. I am interested in some spells. He nods and glances about the market. Forgive me, Cutter, I only sell magical items. You should talk to Cinder. His stall is over by the furnace, towards the exit. Show me what you have for sale. So what does he have for sale? Okay, so a bunch of stuff that we're not really going to use right at the moment. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to sell this scroll of Axe Torment. And then do you have, yeah, this scroll of Blood Bridge as well. Just try to keep then can you can identify stuff. So nothing there. Nothing there. Okay, and nothing there. Okay, so let's head on then.
I'm gone.
So I'm trying to see if there's anyone interesting to talk to. So we got Anzi. Let's talk to Anzi. You see an older, stern-looking man. His face is a mixture of wrinkles and frown lines. Greetings. He gives you a quick stiff bow. Aye, greetings to ye as well. Anzi's me name. What you be needing? I have some questions. He gives you a toothless grin. I reckon I got the time to give ye the chant. What you be needing to know? What's that furnace used for? He glances at the furnace and then lowers his voice. The furnace is nothing other than teach me lazy boy responsibility. That boy is always yapping and talking and such. Reckons himself a scholar and don't know the value of real work. If ye have serious questions, well, he may be better to ask than me. I have some more questions. I need to buy some weapons. Okay, so he does have weapons. So he's the guy to sell our weapons to, I guess. We'll sell this battle axe for 1, because it's just taking up space. And we're going to keep the hammer, because it could be useful at some stage. Again, we never know where we have to repair. And then we're not going to buy any more weapons. Okay, so where is his son? Let's talk to you. Laszlo, you see a young boy with pale yellow skin. His clothes are dirty and in need of mending. Currently he is tending a furnace. So this is his son, Laszlo. Greetings. He turns and gives a half smile as he sets down his work. Hail! Do you need some help? Yes, I have some questions. Aye, aye. I'd be pleased to help you, if I could. The boy looks grateful not to be toiling over the furnace. What is it I can answer for you? What is this place? This place, he glances around. It's the OpenAir Market. Lot of buyers and sellers come here to set up their kip for the day. I've been here for a good time. I've been working here for a while under the eye of me dad. He looks a little distant. One day I could be running his stall, I could. What is it that you do here? He points proudly at the furnace. The furnace, it's used to... He shrugs his shoulders. I don't know what it's used for, but me dad says it's important to keep it stoked and burning right. He wipes sweat from his brow and glances about. So his dad's been a dick. Is your father one of the merchants here? He nods. Anzi is his name. That's my dad's stall over there. He gestures at a stall to the right of the furnace. If you don't have what you need, he may be able to point you to it. What kind of goods are available? He thinks for a bit. There's many things to be had. Food, drink, magic, weapons. Are you looking to buy some supplies, maybe? I don't want either of those. I have some other questions for you. What can you tell me about the city of Sigil? The center of the plains. The city where almost everything intersects. Never boring, really. The Lady of Pain is the law, and the rest of us mostly try and bang out a living under her shadow. He barks a laugh and coughs. What can you tell me about the Lady of Pain? Don't know much about her. She keeps the powers out of Sigil. Keeps the fiends out, and talks and deals with nobody, except maybe the Dabbas. She'll pen you in the dead book, damned quick if you worship her or try and hurt Sigil. Her face and the blades surrounding it would be the last you'd see. Interesting. At the mention of a face surrounded by blades, a memory forces itself into your consciousness. For a moment you are standing in a darkened alley, breathing heavily. Approaching you in the darkness is an uncannily beautiful woman, her face shrouded in blades, and with cold eyes, suddenly the memory fades and you are talking to the lad once more. Oh, so maybe she's the person who killed us. I have some other questions. Why does everyone seem to have yellow skin around here? It's a sickness, it is, caused by the bad air. What with the smoke and all the factory smogs, it can get pretty hard to breathe easily around here. He shrugs. Some days it's not good to be out when the smogs linger too long. They can scald your eyes right out of your skull, so it's said. Can't something be done about it? I don't know. At times, winds come from the spire and blow the city clear of smog, but that's not as often as would be liked. He blinks, glances around and shrugs. Ladies will, I guess. Don't make much sense, but then little does if you look at it long enough. I have some other questions. Is there anything worth seeing around here? Not much to see. The Great Foundry's impressive, though. You might check that out. Home of the believers, you know. He stops to think. Most of the more amazing sights are in some of the upper wards. It might be better to look around there. I hear there's a brothel there, the fest hall, and some other places that are more interesting. I don't know for sure. I've been here all my life. Tell me about the foundry. Centre of the ward, pretty much. An impressive structure, to be sure. You can't miss it. Just head north. You'll know it by the big gates. He marks it on your map. Tell me about the believers. They've got a bunch of names. Believers, Godsmen, Believers of the Source. We mostly just call them Godsmen. They have their kip in the ground foundry, and they seem to get by pretty well. They're a pleasant bunch. They believe that everybody can be great, as great as the powers even, if you just strive to reach it. It might mean you have to start life over a bunch of times, but you'll eventually get there after a time. So there's another faction here. What faction are you? He smiles. Oh, me and me da are Indepts. We're a faction that's not really a faction. We're a faction that believes that people are free to do as they will. We're a pretty loose bunch, and we don't take too kindly to making or obeying other factions. What is the purpose of all these factions? He glances at you. The factions are thems that govern most of the Sigil and day-to-day business. There's a bunch. There's the dead, the dustmen that take care of all the dead bodies on the streets, and then there's the governors that makes the laws, and the sensates. There's a number of factions. Here in the lower ward we mostly deal with the believers, the godsmen. He nods in the distance. They have their kip in the Great Foundry, and they're a pleasant enough bunch. What can you tell me about these other factions? He shrugs. Nothing really. I never cared being an in-depth and all. The factions' houses have plenty of people who will give you their chant. Go ask him. I see, I have other questions for you. I'm missing a skull. Know anyone who'd want something like that? He becomes rather excited. Missed a skull, are ye? I better know what happened to it. In the ward is a fella, a mage or priest to hear tell, who collects heads and puts them on his shelves like books. They're dead, but his magics are such he can make them answer questions for him, even though they're in the dead book. Where can I find this person? He frowns. Not sure really. I heard tell he's got his kip in one of the ruined buildings around here, but I've never been there. He snaps his fingers. Others might know though, might ask Sebastian about it. Where can I find Sebastian? He points vaguely towards the west. Go back to the square, head a little north and west. Sebastian sets his kip up at the drawbridge-like contraption. Thank you, I have other questions. Actually, I don't. I must be going now. Farewell. And actually, I really must be going because it's the end of this particular video. So, from myself, the nameless one, Dakon, Anna, and still, unfortunately, not Mort, it's goodbye. And I really do hope to see all of you next time. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, maybe you'll hit the subscribe button there on the right and check out some other videos here on the left.